the scale and savagery of human rights violations right now against women really is a humanitarian tragedy.
Refugee is someone that has left their country of origin to seek asylum in another country outside of their borders.
A refugee is a person who can prove with well-founded reasons that he or she is persecuted by her government or his government for reasons of ethnic belongingness, religious belongingness, or political thoughts.
Hi, I'm Desiree Duncan, and this is her profile Encourage Refugees. Each year, nearly 80,000 refugees come to the United States from around the world. The U.S. receives more than half of the total number of refugees resettled worldwide through the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees. A surprisingly large number of these refugees end up resettling in Las Vegas. Coming up, you're going to meet 3 female refugees who are now living in Las Vegas. Each one of them fled their homeland in fear for their lives. You'll also be introduced to the local aid organizations that help make their moves possible.
This is Anna. Anna is a refugee from Iraq, now living in Las Vegas. Her homeland is consumed by conflict. Anna fled from Iraq to Syria in 2008, and for the next 2 years, she strove to make it to America, where she dreamed of creating a new life for herself.
I go to Syria, I apply for the United Nations, and I go to the IOM.
Anna left Iraq because she feared for her life. She asked us to conceal her identity for her protection.
I'm gonna get killed if I stay in Iraq. I was work with the American company, and some people, they don't like that, and it's very dangerous to stay in Iraq. Of course, it was scary. I have many friends, they was work with us, they get killed. They kill them. It's too hard to us. That's why no more, I can't stay in Iraq.
Anna's journey from Iraq to the United States was not an easy one, but she had help. The ECDC African Community Center helped bridge the gap between Anna's old life and new life. A representative from the center met Anna at the airport the day she arrived from Syria.
I don't know what is going to be facing me, what I'm going to see in there, but they make it more easy.
We operate resettlement programs such as the reception and placement program that provides core services including reception from the airport, provision of housing, utility assistance, cash assistance, referrals to health screening and health services available in the area.
The center also provides refugees transportation, employment, and interpretation services, as well as economic development and ESL classes.
We provide case management until they become self-sufficient. Self-sufficiency is, in other words, one of our objectives.
Thanks in part to the center's help, Anna has become a self-sufficient Las Vegas resident.
Really, I'm happy. I have my job, my full-time job. I have 2 kids. I'm married, and I have many friends.
The number of refugees coming to and resettling in Las Vegas has been on the rise in recent years. Betty Hoon's organization has resettled over 1,600 refugees from across the globe since 2003.
We have been resettling an average of 350 refugees. Next year, we plan to resettle 400.
He says the greatest numbers of refugees are coming from areas such as Cuba, Iraq, Iran, the Democratic Republic of the Congo, Ethiopia, Burma, and Bhutan. Many of these refugees are women. But of all the places in the world, why are so many female refugees resettling in Las Vegas, Nevada?
First, because they have U.S. ties in Las Vegas, and they could help them through the resettlement integration process. The other reason is they have to come here because of capacity. We have the capacity to help refugees resettle in Las Vegas. So every place gets some of the refugees through a national allocation system.
A specified number of refugees are admitted into the U.S. annually. The United States is one of a number of countries that run resettlement programs in cooperation with the United Nations High Commissioner of Refugees. Betty Hoon says he admires the brave refugees who've risked so much in hopes of making a new life in America.
They come here dreaming that this is the place for them on earth where they can realize their life dreams. So America is also the land of immigrants and refugees. This is how America was founded. America has committed itself to help refugees and to assist them to realize their dreams.
This is Lumba and her husband Killenby and 3 of their 5 children. Lumba and her family are refugees from Africa, now living in Las Vegas. Their story is one of great struggle, hope, and courage.
Hey, come on.
Lumba speaks little English and has asked that her husband speak for her.
We was moved to Las Vegas because of the war in our country in Congo. Congo 1985, they have a war. 1985, and then my brother was killed by the soldiers. I was about 13 years. I was see in myself. He was killed.
Then, in the late 90s, a great war engulfed 8 African nations, including the Democratic Republic of the Congo. As a result, millions of people died, most from disease and starvation. Millions of others were displaced or fled to neighboring countries. Lumba and Killenby were greatly affected by the years of conflict. A number of their family members were killed, including Killenby's parents.
I see in my eyes when my dad and my mom was being killed by the rebels. I said, no, I go in Zambia. After that, that's why I was tell the UNHCR that I can't go back to Congo.
In 1999, after years of inconceivable loss and nearly continuous fear, Lumba and Killenby finally left their village. They fled to a refugee camp in Zambia. Life there, like in many refugee camps, was extremely difficult. After 10 years in the Zambian refugee camp, Lumba and Kilimbi were finally authorized to leave Africa. The couple came to the United States with their children who'd been born in the refugee camp.
Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Mara. We are said, thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Mara. We are said, thank you, Jesus. Thank you.
The family resettled in Las Vegas. Upon arrival, they received assistance from the ECDC African Community Center of Las Vegas.
Like an Africa community was help us, like a food stamp, Medicaid, was get from them the clothes and pay the bill of like power and the rent.
The family found life in the States wasn't without its own challenges.
Language for us, communication with the people. Especially here in Las Vegas, more people speak Spanish.
Landing a job was also challenging. Kilimbi is now working as a janitor, and Lumba is working toward a number of goals she set for herself and her children.
For my children, for my daughter, for finish school, and me, for English, I promise for me, if I speak English, I can
get
the job, yeah.
Lumba is confident she and her entire family will become productive citizens in the community. Today, they are happy and comfortable living in Las Vegas.
So we are free, no problem. It's not like in Zambia, in refugee camp where we was in Zambia. Here is nice.
Lumba and Kilimbi say they are happy to call Las Vegas home now. And while they miss the family they left behind, they'll never return to Africa.
My family, we don't like to go back in Congo. We can't. I don't know for the children, maybe after the children can tell us that we want to go to see the Congo. I see they can go. But for us, the parent, no.
This is Georgina and her family. Like many women today, Georgina wears a lot of different hats. She's a grandmother, activist, freedom fighter, and for the past 49 days, refugee. 49 days ago, Georgina fled her homeland of Cuba and came to the United States. She came seeking safety and freedom. Freedom, she says, doesn't exist in Cuba.
No existe libertad de expresión, no existe libertad de movimiento. Bueno, ninguna libertad. En Cuba no existe libertad. Y el pueblo está muy oprimido.
Georgina points to this lack of freedom as one of the primary causes of conflict in her country.
El sistema totalitario que impera en Cuba, llevado por los Castro, reprime demasiado al pueblo. La represión se sintiera, el peso de la represión se sintiera sobre todo sobre las mujeres.
Georgina refused to be repressed. She has a long history as a human rights activist.
¿Cómo están? Por favor, pasen.
Yo fui dama de apoyo a las damas de blanco, periodista independiente y miembro de la Federación Latinoamericana de Mujeres Rurales, conocida como FLAMUR. Nosotros luchábamos en contra de toda esta represión contra las libertades. Luchábamos a favor del derecho de los hombres, del derecho de los seres humanos, y esto provocaba que el gobierno tomara represalias en contra nuestras. Por ejemplo, en mi caso estuve detenida 3 y 4 días en distintas ocasiones para que no participara en ninguna actividad contestataria al gobierno en esos días.
Eventually, Georgina became convinced that she and her family were no longer safe in Cuba.
Llegó el momento en que ya estaba asfixiada, no podía vivir en Cuba, y entonces decidí acogerme al refugio que brinda este país.
Georgina chose to resettle in Las Vegas because she had family already living here. Georgina's transition may not have been possible without the help of a local aid organization, Catholic Charities of Southern Nevada.
Desde que llegué a Las Vegas, Caridades Católicas me acogió y bueno, mi ayuda consiste, bueno, me dan un dinero cash, me dan las food stamps y bueno, me han ayudado, o sea, me están ayudando a encontrar empleo.
Georgina has already managed to set some significant goals for herself, and with the continued help of Catholic Charities of Southern Nevada, she's confident she'll reach them.
Bueno, lo primero es aprender inglés y trabajar para poder lograr lo que todo ciudadano, toda persona que vive en Estados Unidos, tener mi propia vida, vivir como las personas, llegar a tener mi casa, llegar a tener un empleo que me permita poder lograr todos estos objetivos.
Catholic Charities of Southern Nevada is a local aid organization that's been helping people in need for the past 70 years.
We have 24 different programs that basically provide services that sustain human dignity in all persons.
Catholic Charities Migration and Refugee Services help to resettle refugees from all over the world. Since January of 2009, they've resettled 534 refugees in Las Vegas, 217 of which were women. Carissa says there's a process to welcoming refugees into the United States, and it begins long before they arrive.
We basically receive biodata informing us of possible refugees that can be resettled here in Las Vegas. So what we do then is we review those biodata, and based on the strengths and the weaknesses of our city, then determine who we can successfully resettle here.
Once verification of a given refugee is completed, Catholic Charities prepares for their arrival.
How are your clients?
They're all doing good. And I'm expecting one tomorrow.
Basically, we're providing them with their basic necessities.
This includes food, clothing, shelter, and education-related services. Refugees are also assigned a case manager.
We then have mandatory ESL classes for them that they attend. In addition to that, they're also assigned a job developer who assists them with employment services. Our ultimate goal for them is just that we want them to fit in this community and basically just give back.
While the three brave women you've just met came from very different places, they each share some things in common. Georgina, Anna, and Lumba are all handling the challenges associated with starting a new life in a new country with courage and optimism. They are also quite fortunate to have escaped the conflict and oppression they suffered at home and to have survived. Millions of other women in conflict areas can't leave. They are forced to stay and suffer the wrath of war, the abuse, and often the disintegration of their human rights.
Right now, in various places across the planet, war and conflict rages. While conflict creates many victims, it is oftentimes women and children who seem to suffer the most.
Even though the women remain to be a minority among the combatants or the perpetrators of war, they are the ones to suffer from the greatest harm.
Women and children find themselves in very vulnerable situations, and that happens two types of ways. First of all, they experience sexual violence where rape is used as a tool of war, as we've seen in very recent conflicts, but also as a consequence of forced migration and a consequence of the lack of order and security.
War and conflict often magnify inequalities that already exist in societies.
Women are not empowered in those in most traditional societies, and there are inequalities between the genders.
Betty Hoon says conflict also affects women by breaking down social networks. Unfortunately, the use of rape as a weapon of war is on the rise.
One of the problems is that, especially in some of the African countries, that soldiers are actually given the order to rape. Many women who have been raped are then ostracized in their own community. They are shamed. If they decide that they do want to pursue it, it ends up in very long and humiliating court battles. So most women just don't do that. Perpetrators of violence against women are rarely held accountable.
Sexual violence, just the act itself, has lasting implications for that country and for the women, because women typically are the social fabric of countries.
Dr. Howard says sexual violence against women compromises the very foundation of a given country.
Women are the child bearers. They are the structure and the foundation of homes.
Women in many conflict areas desperately need help from the international community. But what can be done to assist them?
The first thing that the international community can do is first acknowledge it, bring awareness to it, and then work to really reduce this culture of impunity.
Amnesty International is a worldwide human rights organization. We have approximately 3 million members. We're in 150 countries. Amnesty International is an independent, autonomous organization. We do not take money from governments. It is supported by its membership.
Amnesty International's goal is to secure the rights and freedoms that are enshrined in the Universal Declaration of Human Rights.
Violations of human rights anywhere are people's concern everywhere. Human rights exist because of the human condition. You have human rights by virtue of the fact that you are human. A lot of times in America here, we take for granted our human rights, but in many countries, women don't know what their human rights are. And once they find out, they will go through any obstacle to claim them.
Conflict and oppression are a sad fact of life on our planet. And as long as these conditions exist, there will be refugees. People willing to do whatever it takes to survive and thrive. Refugees like the women you've met tonight exemplify the indomitable strength of the human spirit. And it is that spirit that connects us all, wherever we may live. Thank you for watching, and good night.
da ba doo da.